It's a crossing place, and Avon is the Celtic word for a river. So this in fact is river. Now wherever you had rivers, and particularly crossing places, you would get human settlement. And we've got evidence of people living here for 6,000 years. So we have Neolithic sites, Bronze Age, Iron Age. The Romans put a couple of forts in over there. When the Saxons came, they built their settlement over where Holy Trinity Church now is. So just a small settlement there. But the most important time for Stratford as we know it today is the 12th century. And at that point, this land was all owned by the Bishop of Worcester, who was the local bishop, and he petitioned the then king, which is Richard I, or Richard the Lionheart, to grant a charter to build a market town. And that was granted in 1196. And over there you've got the Swan Fountain, which commemorates 800 years of the granting of the charter, opened by our current Queen in 1996. So as soon as the charter is granted, Stratford, practically the same as you see it today, was built as a medieval market town on a grid system. Market day is just once a week, but people come from all the surrounding villages, so it's an immediately successful project. And as time goes by, Stratford doesn't actually physically grow in size, but it does in wealth and importance, because it starts to trade further and further afield. And by the time we get to William Shakespeare's period, which is the 16th century, it's trading far and wide. And most importantly now, it has strong trading links with London. And once a fortnight, a carriage service goes down to London, taking all of the local produce. And that would be things like linen, gloves, cheeses, linseed oil, which was actually made here. And of course the most important thing was wool. Cotswold wool, the local wool, said to be the finest in Europe, fetched very high prices. And then of course they come back from London with all of the luxury goods, all the spices and wonderful things that the increasingly wealthy merchants here wanted. Now when we get to the Victorian period and the construction of the canal system, this area here where you can see the canal boats, that was originally built as an inland port, and there were warehouses along here for the storage of the goods. But then somebody invented the railways and they went a bit faster. So the canals were then just for leisure and pleasure. This area is known as the Bancroft, and that tells us it's on a riverbank and that it's for the grazing of animals. So although we have townhouses here, behind the houses we don't have pretty gardens, we have livestock, and people could bring them here to graze freely. They cannot fail to have noticed this large building here. Has anybody been, or anybody going? Are you going? To see Merry Wives?
Merry Wives.
Oh, you'll enjoy that, yes. Okay, nobody else?
Yeah.
Yes? Merry
Also
Wives?
going this evening, yeah.
Merry Wives.
And then again to see Macbeth a few days later.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Merry Wives is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Right, well the theatre that you're looking at is not the original. The original one was built in 1879, and we will see that half when we go around the other side. Because in 1926, unfortunately, it caught fire and was largely destroyed. So they had a competition to design a new theatre, and very unusually, now I'm talking 1926 here, the competition was won by a female architect, Elizabeth Scott. Yes. And that is her theatre there. Built in 1932, not to everybody's taste. I know that. Art Deco, you love it, you hate it. I'm personally a fan, but I know a lot of people aren't. And when it was first built, the people of Stratford hated it. They nicknamed it the Jam Factory. I think that's a bit unfair. Today, of course, it's recognised as an important Art Deco building, and it is now a listed building. So a few years ago, when the RSC decided to change the theatre and upgrade the facilities for the actors, that listing gave them a huge problem because it took a lot longer and cost a lot more than it would have done. Nearly 4 years and close on £113 million.
Wow.
But what we now have is a 1,000-seater theatre, the design of an original Elizabethan theatre. So you have a thrust stage and people sitting in galleries around, just as it would have been in Shakespeare's day. I think it's a very good design. It brings actors and audience much closer together. So I'm sure you will enjoy the experience.
The tower?
The tower was added in this recent renovation. There was a tower on the original Victorian one, but that's just a recent addition. There is an observation area there, and on a clear day you can see for miles. And if you are interested in the theatre and the way it works, there are front of house and backstage tours which are well worth it. They're at all different times. You have to check with the theatre. Right, so we're now going
matinees, sorry.
Yes, they do have matinees, not every day of the week though. It's always on a Saturday, but you have to check and see if it's a Wednesday or a Thursday. We're now going to go around to the other side of this building and you will see the original theatre, the bit that most people prefer. Okay.